La Yashala to Israel. Imagine, which means to stand. Wapanya Kudam, which means to rise and face the east. We're going to start with the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemai, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashmai, Nathalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Habawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Habawafinawa, Wala'a, Tabaya'a now, Banasaya one, the ball, Awashai now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Para, Walumium Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakak, the prayer for the power. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Babu Kusha, Nathanawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Pa'a, Kal Makala, Kal Marawa, Hakak. Latahar, Hamatazaraya, Hakak, Lahakwi, Hamathi, Hakak, Arakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagarvashan, Ba'ashim Yahushai, the water Aman. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barak Benawa, Wayasha'ala, Waha, Bayasapar, Rapah, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Ba'ashim Yahushai, the water Aman. What we just said was Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asha'a, Ayanya, Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat. Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Ya, Yanyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakarka, Wayarach, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makalra, Yashamar, Athna Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'athka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'itha, Wa'ai, Awalam Aman. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahaya, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Taharash, wa Al-Tashaqwa, Al, Yahanna, I.S.U.P.K, Yahanna Yawan, wa Mashinaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Amika, Ya'irayam, Sawad, wa Yathai Tazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amrawa, Lakawa, wa Nakaki, the Magoya, wa La'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwa, Kaya, Nawa Tazawa, La, Yakadwa, Al-Yaka, Barya, Yakarath, Aholia, Adawam, wa Yashama Alim, Mawa'aba, wa Hagar, Gabal, wa Amawan, wa Amalak, Palashat, I'm Yeshabi, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamaki, Kasayasara, Kayabian, Banafal, Koyashwan, Nashamabi, Bayan Dara, Iowa, Daman, La Adama, Shea Thumwa, Nadiyatmawa, Kaira, Wakazaba, Wakazabah, Wakazalmanai, Kalna Say Kamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Naya Rashad, Lanawa, Af, Nawaf, Alahayam, Alahayat, Shea Thumwa. Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash, the Bairia Ira, Kalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, the Radatma, Basa Irika, Wabaso Papka, Dabahalam, Malaha, Panyaham, Kwalawan, way of Aquashwa, Shimka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Salaki, way of Ahalwa, IDI, way of Aparwa, way of Bagwa, way of the Iowa, Kaya, Atha, Shimka, Yahweh, Labaka, Al, Yawan, Al, Call, Ha, Rataza, Aman. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes, as Nebat, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. The prayer for the blessings of the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shah, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahaya, Matazabia, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapim, Ha Saranya, Ha Kwatazayanya, Ha Kayayoyim, Wa Wafin, Yahweh, Ba Shim Yahweh Shai for water Amon. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Shabia, which means to be seated. Most High in Christ. Go ahead, clap it up. All right, shalom to the brothers and sisters that's checking in online. Right, we got Sister Imaja. Make sure if you're a young brother or sister that you log in to the login to earn your Hebrew name, your attendance, sign in and log in to earn your Hebrew name. All right, shalom. Yahweh Shema to the sister. All right, shalom, sis. Mighty man Kanayak. Congratulations to the trooper in Iowa. Brother Kanayak, a strong brother. Yahweh what's going on, mighty man? To the sister Ruby here in Kansas City. Shalom, sis. All right. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters that are checking in, watching from wherever you are. All right. Let's get into it. Today we're in Deuteronomy, the 15th chapter, verse 23. All right. If you're a young brother, a trooper, and you are trying to pass that officer's test, okay, you're a trooper, a young brother, and you're in the school, this Sabbath service is great to help teach you the Lashawan Kodash, your holy tongue, the ancient tongue, the ancient Hebrew. As you're looking at that test, you see that Assyrian, and that Assyrian usually stumps brothers. You don't want to be stumped. So what do? You have to practice. How do you practice? By coming to the Sabbath service. Okay, in the Israelite School of UPK, we have Sabbath services every Saturday because that is the Sabbath day. Everyone understand? Shalom to the sister that's just checking in. Sister Bashamah, shalom, sis. Most High in Christ, a sister all the way from St. Louis. Sis, you still with us? Most High in Christ. I remember you, sis. Okay, Captain DeGaule's rib. All right, we're in Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 23. Rach, Af, Damawala, Ah, the Aklawa, Ah. And also, just so y'all know, this is the Blue Letter Bible. If you're a brother or a sister and you would like to follow along and learn the Hebrew, you should go to the Blue Letter Bible. You could either download it or you could just pull it up from Google. You go to the Blue Letter Bible, to the app, and you go to the verse that we're in, which is Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 23. And then you would click on the interlinear. All right. You would just click on it and the Hebrew pops up. The Syrian Hebrew pops up. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 23. All right. Rach, Af, Damawala, Ah, the Aklua, Al. Harataza, Dashapaknawa, Kamayam, verse 24. I'm sorry, this is Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Shemarawa, Af, Kadash, Ha'abya, Wa'aishayath, Salakia, Pasach, La Yahweh, Alahaya, Kaya, Bakadash, Ha'abya, Hawataza Salaki Hawataza Ya'ak, Yahweh, Alahayak, Mama Tazarium, Layala. Right? Mama Tazarium, Matazarium is Egypt, the house of bondage. All right, Matazarium. Was a Bakath, Pasach is the Passover. La Yahweh, the Most High's name. La and the Most High's name. You understand? Alahayak, Taza Awa, Wabakwar, Bamakwam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Lashakan, Shamwa, Sham, verse 3. La'ah, the Aklua, Aliwa, Kamataza, Shabaith, Yum, Tha'akal, Aliwa, Matazawath, Lacham, Anya, Kaya, Bakapaz, Salakia, Kapazwan, Bakapazwan, Yataza'ath, Ma'arataza, Matazarium, Lama'ain, Tazakar, Ath, Yawam, Taza Atha, Ma'arataza, Matazarium, Kal, Yamya, Chayayak, verse 4. Wala'ah, Yara'ah, Lak, Sha'ar, Bakal, Gabalak, Shabaith, Yum, Wala'ah, Yalayan, Man, Habashar, Ashar, Dazabach, Ba'ira, Bayawam, Hara Ashwan, Lapakwar, verse 5. La'ah, Thawakal, Lazabach, Af, Hapatak, Ba'akar, Sha'ayak, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Bathak, Salaki Nathan, Lak, verse 6. Kaya, Salaki, all, Hamakwam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Lashaban, Shamwa, Sham, Thazabach, Ath, Hapatak, Bairab, Kabawash, Hashemash, Mawa'id, Taza Athak, Mama Tazarium. All right. Most High Christ, give Sister Yapashi our hand. Make sure you all hit the like button. All right, hit that like button. This is Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 23. All right. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Most High thy power. For in the month of Abib, the Most High thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Most High thy power of the flock and the herd in the place which the Most High shall choose to place his name there. Verse 3. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days. Neither shall thou anything of the flesh, neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificed it the first day at even remain all night until the morning. What is this? The Passover going into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. After we kept it the first time. How did we keep it the first time? By fleeing Egypt. The Lord never wants us to forget. And this is so apropos to the topics of today. Just recently in the past month, in the Black and Latino community, you had sisters over there in Iran dying for America, baby girls that were 19. You had Nolan Wells go missing in Mississippi, found in a river like Emmett Till in 1955. Then you had the sister who was just lynched. Her body was found hanging from a tree, just like in Mississippi in 1955. Why is this so important? Because the Lord wants his people to remember the days of old. Never forget. You know what happened between 1955 In 1995, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. happened. The Christian church happened. And because of the failings of the Christian church, Blacks and Latinos were never taught to remember the crimes of our oppressor. We've always been taught to love them. We've always been taught to pray for the white man, help the white man, love him, love them that despitefully use you. That's what Dr. King taught. To turn the other cheek, meaning what in his mind? To turn your back when he beats you over the head, when he kills your son, when he drowns your son and hangs your daughter. Don't think about it. Love him and forgive him. That's not in the Bible. The Lord wants us to remember every year when he murdered the Egyptians. He slaughtered the firstborn of all the Egyptian babies. He slaughtered the firstborn of all the cattle in Egypt, all the roaches in Egypt dead, rats gone. He killed everything that was Egyptian so he could save us. God is not the God of everybody. He wants Latinos, Negroes, and Native American Indian to remember the days of old, never to forget Emmett Till, never forget when we came out of Egypt, never forget who had us in captivity. The Europeans had us in captivity. The French had us in captivity. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Chinese, the Arabs, and the Africans, and they will all pay for the crimes they committed against God's chosen people. Your problem is you forget. The white man hasn't been taught to be a traitor to his forefathers like we've been taught to be traitors to our forefathers. You want a hug and a sing and a song and a dance. The white man is looking to kill something like Nolan Wells, kill something like Atiana Jefferson, kill something like Emmett Till, kill something. He will turn on you. He doesn't forget the Alamo. He doesn't forget 9/11. He doesn't forget the founding fathers and Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. We forget Squancho. We forget Sacagawea. We forget the Apache. We forget the Comanche. We forget Emmett Till and the slaves and George Steiny. God is going to unalive the oppressor and bring him to his knees for the crimes he's committed against us. Your job is to remember and to ask God for God's forgiveness for our people, not God's forgiveness for your oppressor, not God's forgiveness for Roy Bryant and Carolyn Bryant, who are responsible for the death of Emmett Till, not to forgive the devils who's responsible for the death of Nolan Wells, not to forgive George Zimmerman, who's responsible for the death of your sons and your daughters. Your forgiveness that you ask for God is for your people. The love that you get God, that God has given you, God gave you that love and that never-ending love heart that he gives Black, Latino, and Native Indian to love Black, Latinos, and Native Indians, not to love Donald Trump, not to love the Ku Klux Klan, not to love the Nazis, not so you can love George Zimmerman, not so you can love Dylan Storm Roof, not to love the Egyptians. We have a high holy day where God wants us to always remember him putting our enemy to death, him laying Egypt waste, him murdering the Egyptians. This isn't Christmas. This isn't Thanksgiving. This isn't Easter bunnies. This isn't your birthday. God is a terrible power, and he wants his people to love one another, not to love your oppressor. Let's keep going. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 5. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, but at the place which the Most High thy power shall choose to place his name in. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. All right, let's keep going. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 7. All right, damn right, sis said, I can't wait to flee America. Soon, sis, when our King Christ returns. And the lady who got beat up by those heathens, come on, sis, she was pregnant and epileptic. That means she had seizures. And they beat that poor girl in college, those white girls. Which brings me to another point, if I could, before I go on to the next 7 scriptures. The white woman is the devil too. She was Carolyn Bryant. The reason Emmett Till was murdered. And then the devil had the nerve to lie and say, when my husband, Roy Bryan, brought him to my face, I told him that was the wrong nigger. That was the wrong nigger boy. That's how white women think of you as you go and put your rod inside of them, thinking that they were better than their white male counterparts. They slaved more black people, just as much slavery as their white male counterparts. They had us in slavery too. She is the devil, just like Donald Trump is the devil. Melania Trump can care less about you than her husband does. She's not more empathetic. She's not more sympathetic to your plight than her husband. They equally hate us. God equally slaughtered the Egyptian men and the Egyptian women. There were no more Egyptians after God was done. Why? Because of the crimes they committed. Not just Egyptian men, but the Egyptian women too. When Christ returns, white women will be going into slavery with their white man for hurting black women. White women, for you sisters' education, is the reason why your sons and daughters died in slavery. That's a fact you can look up. There are books they wrote on this. There are books called White Fragility, and we were her property. And you can just look and Google and get all these books and knowledge and come to class, and you will learn that white women are equally responsible for all of our deaths, murders, slavery as white men. 40% of white women had us in captivity. And you're going to give them a pass? Hell no. They're all equally culpable for the destruction of our people. And God is going to destroy them for them destroying us. Let's keep going. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 7. Wabashalath, Waakalath, Bamakuwam, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahawa, Alahayak, Bawa, Wapanayath, Babakwar, Wahalakath, Lahalayak, Lahalayak. Verse 8. Shishath, Yum Yum, Thakal, Matazawath, Waba Yawam, Hashabayaya, Atazarath, La Yahawa, Alahayak, La'ah, Aisha, Malaka, Salaki Malaka. Verse 9. Shabai, Thasapar, Lak, Mahakal, Haramash, Bakwama, Thakal, Lasapar, Shabai, excuse me, Shabai Wath, all right, Shabai Wath. Verse 10, Why Shayath, Chag, Shabai Wath, La Yahawa, Al-Hayak, Matath, all right, Salakia, Masath, all right, Nadabath, Yadak, Ashar, Thathan, Kashar, Yabarakak, Yahweh, Alahayak, verse 11. All right. Washamakaf, Lapanya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Atha, Wabanak, Wabathak, Waibadak, Wamathak, Wahal, Halaya, Wahalaya, Ashar, Basha Iraq, yeah, Basha Aryak, Wahagar, Waha Yathawam, Waha Alamana, Waha Ashar, Bakurabak, Bamakuam, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahawa, Alahayak, Lashakan, Shemawa, Sham, verse 12. Wazakarath, Kaya, Ibad, Hayayath, Mamatazariah, Washamarath, Why Shayath, Ath, Haka Salakia, Haka Yakam, no, Hakakyam, all right, Hakakyam, Ha'ala, verse 13. Chag, Hasakath, Thaisha, Lak, Shabbath, Yum Yum, Ba'as, Ba'asapak, all right, Ba'asapak, Magaranat, Wamaya Kabak, Wamaya Kabak, right? All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 16. Let's go up to what? Verse 7 is where we started. Verse 7. And thou shalt roast and eat in the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Most High thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein. Verse 9. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Most High thy power with a tribute of free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Most High thy power, according as the Most High thy power hath blessed thee. Verse 11. And thou shalt rejoice before the Most High thy power, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you in the place which the Most High thy power hath chosen to place his name there. Verse 12. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Verse 13. Thou shalt observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. All right. Remember, these are the commandments on how to keep the high holy days of the Most High. Where else can you find these? In Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. All right. These are in no order. These are just giving you the days and the high holy days that the Most High wants us to celebrate and the reasons behind it. Okay. These are great precepts to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. All right. Okay. We got a question. I asked the Most High to show me a lightning bolt in broad daylight as a sign of power. Instead, he put someone in my way to help, and they gave me beer money. What's that mean, Elder? Well, I will say this, that the Most High God doesn't hear sinners. If you are not in the Israelite school UPK, and let me break it down more simpler. If you don't keep the commandments of the Most High God, your prayer is void and is vain. Okay? Who knows? Somebody gave you beer money, maybe because you're begging on the side of the street, maybe because they just wanted to give you money. They didn't give it to you for beer. You just chose to buy beer with it. That doesn't mean it was the Lord. That means that somebody just decided to give you money that day because they wanted to give you money. But this I do know, when you prayed to the Lord to send you a sign, the Most High God, he's showing you the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. And it's your duty to listen to what the men of God in this school under commanding Yahanna tell you. Now, if you don't do that, God is not hearing what you tell him. Black people ask for a sign since slavery, and God continued to show them the Bible. God showed them Nat Turner. God showed them Denmark Vesey. Who followed after that? You know how many men Christ had with him when he died? 11. 11. He was Jesus Christ. Do you understand? So God has shown us signs, but you don't listen to the signs. God isn't going to show you a lightning bolt. He's not going to bless you to win the lottery. God sent niggers and spics and redskins under commanding General Yahanna to teach black people the word of God. And if you don't listen to these black people and the natives and the Hispanics in the Israelite school of UPK, that is your sign gone. You have one opportunity in your life to do what God wants you to do, and it's to follow commanding General Yahanna. If you don't get into the Israelite school of UPK, whether you're a man or a woman, then that was your sign from God. Everything that happens to you after that is on you. This is your opportunity, syphilitis. This is your opportunity, brother or sister, to get into the school. If you don't get into the school, that is on you. Now the blood is not on our hands, it's not on God's hands, it's on your hands. You continue to get high if you want in 2026, where everything is poisoned. Everything gives you, it sounds like your name, syphilinitis. That's what that lettuce sounds like it gives you. It sounds like it's going to give you syphilinitis. You're going to get a disease from eating what? Lettuce, and you still smoke. You're still an alcoholic. What are you doing? The world is coming to an end. What are you doing? Why aren't you in the truth? I know why. Because you think you have forever. You think you have tomorrow to come into the truth. How in the hell do you know when you have to die? You don't know. You could die right now. Syphilinitis. God can kill you now. He can murder your children now. You may not have tomorrow to come into the truth. So come into the truth today. This is your opportunity. Your sign that you prayed for from God is commanding General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K. Now, if you don't come into the truth, then you just told the Lord, F you. That's what you told God. Now, you can't ask him for nothing else. He did the best he could and sent you me. If you don't follow me in this truth, then God be with you, because he does not hear the prayer of sinners. Everyone understand? Let's go on to the next 7 verses. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 14. All right. Yeah, that's the next 7. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 14. Washamachath, Bakagak, Tha, Wabanak, Wabathak, Waibadak, Waimathak, Wahaloya, Wahagar, Wahayathak, Salaki, Wahayathwa, Wahayathawam, okay, Wahayathawam, Wahalamana, Ashar, Basha Ariyak, verse 15. 1 to 20. All right. Shabaith, Yum Yum, Gakag, La Yahweh, Alayak, Bamakwam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Kaya, Yabarakak, Yahweh, Alayak, Bakal, Thabawathak, Wabakal, Maisha, Yadayak, Wayayath, Ah, Shamak, verse 16. Shalawash, Pa'imyim, Bashana, Yara'ah, Call, Zacharawak, Af, Panya, Yahweh, Alayak, Bamakwam, Ashar, Yabachar, Bakag, Hamatazawath, Wabachag, Hashabayawath, Wabakag, Hasakawath, Wala'ah, Yara'ah, Af, Panya, Yahweh, Rayaquam, verse 17. Ayash, Kamathnath, Yadawak, Kabarak, Salakia, Kabaratha, Salakia, Kabarakath, Yahweh, Alahayak, Ashar, Nathan, Lak, verse 18. Shapatayam, Shapatyam, all right. Washatarium, Thathan, Lak, Bakal, Shirayak, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Nathan, Lak, Lashabatyak, Washapatwa, all right, Washapatwa, Ath, Ha'ain, Mashapat, Tazadak, verse 19. La'ah, the top, Mashapat, La'ah, Thakayar, Panyam, Wala'ah, Thakwak, Shakad, Kaya, Hashakad, Yaiwar, Ayanya, Chama Salakia, Chachamyam, Wayasalak, Daraya, Tazad Yaquam. All right. Verse 20. Tazadak, Tharadak, Lama'ain, Thahaya, Salaki, Thachaya, Warrior Rash, Warrior Rashath, Ath, Haratazah, Ashar, Yahweh, Alayak, Nathan, Lak. All right. All right. Shalom to the brother, young man, Isaiah, Shalom, Mak, Yahabashim Eshukah. All right. All right, here we go. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 14. All right. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, and thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days. Oh, Salaki, we read that one. We had 21. Okay, Salaki, my apologies. All right, I believe I read the wrong one. We started at 21. Okay, let's read 21. All right, here we go. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 21. La'ah, the tie, lock, Asherah, call, Itizah, Atizal, Mazabach, Yahweh, Alahayah, Ashar, Daisha, lock. All right. Verse 22. Wala'ah, Dakoyam, lock, Matazabah, Ashar, Shana, Yahweh, Alahayah. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 1. La'ah, Dazabach, La Yahweh, Alahayah, Shawor, Washa, Ashar, Yahaya, Bawa, Mawam, Call, Debar, Rai, Kaya, Thawai Bai, no, Salakia, Thawai Bath, Yahweh, Al-Hayak, Hawa'ah, verse 2, 5. All right. Kaya, Yamatazah, Yamatazah, that's better. Okay, Salakia, Yamatazah, Bakurabak, Ba'achad, Shairayak, Ashar, Yahweh, Al-Hayak, Nathan, Lak, Ayash, Awa, Asha, Ashar, Yaisha, Af, Harai, Bayanya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Laibar, Barayathwa, verse 3. Walak, Wayaibad, Alahayam, Acharya, Wayashaf, Salakia, Wayashakathwa, Wayashakatwa, Laham, Laham, Wala Shamash, Awa, Layarak, Awa, Lakal, Tazaba'ah, Hashamyam, Ashar, La'ah, Tazawayathya, verse 4. Wahagad, Lak, Washamaith, Wadarash, Wadarashaf, Hayatab, Wahana, Amath, Nakawan, Hadabar, Naishaf, Hatawat, Salaki, Hatawai, Hatawaiba, Haza'ath, Bayasha'ala, verse 5. Waharataza'ath, excuse me, Ath, Hayash, Hawa'ah, Awa, Ath, Ha'ach, Hawa'ah, Ashar, I.S.U.P.K, Ath, Hadabar, Harai, Hazaha, all, Sha'ariyak, Ath, Ha'ayash, Awa, Ath, Ha'asha, Wasakalatham, Salaki, Abnayam, Ba'abnayam, Wamathawa. Right. Now, this is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 21. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Most High thy power, which thou shalt make thee. Hold on. See that? Hold on now. 14 through 20. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. 3 times in a year. Oh man, I should perform. Okay, we're going to start at 14 and read it all the way through 17 and 5. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 14. I read both in the Hebrew. I might as well read both in the English because I believe I may have skipped over this one. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Most High thy power, in the place which the Most High shall choose, because the Most High thy power shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all thy work, in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power, in the place which he shall choose, and the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Most High empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High thy power, which he hath given thee. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. That's our duty in the Israelite School of UPK. We have kept the order from Deuteronomy 7:16 and 18. Well, that same order where the Lord ordered the man in charge of Israel make officers, generals, captains out of the men of thy ranks throughout all your tribes, because with men of rank gives that man a responsibility and a duty he must be accountable for. If I'm an officer of 5,000, effective immediately, I am responsible for 5,000 men roughly and their families. I'm accountable for them. What happens to them, I am responsible for. You know what the problem in the Black and Latino community is? No one is accountable for no one. Everyone can live how they want to live. It's my body. I do what I want. Not in this house, you don't. I can do what I want. I'm a grown man. Not in here, you ain't. You take orders from men that are wiser and better than you. That prevents rape. That stops crime. Melissa Johnson, bless her heart, is doing the best she can with you niggas in Kansas City, trying to stop crime with her pretty self. She's a beautiful, gorgeous young sister from the ghettos of Kansas City, from the 30s, and she is the city's prosecutor. And I hear her all the time on Hot 103 Jams. I hear her all the time on my social media feed, watching her, talking about how to stop crime in Kansas City. The only way to stop crime in Kansas City is to put men in charge of the people of Kansas City. I am that brother that Commanding General Yahanna put in charge of Kansas City. You should fall in line. Why? Because it stops crime. Melissa Johnson and Quentin Lucas, the mayor here, should just give us the keys to the city, should give me the responsibility, because there won't be any more drug dealing. You think Prospect would look like it does now? You think 31st and Prospect would look like it does if we were in charge? Do you think the 30s and Wayne Minor, there wouldn't be a need for McCune? There wouldn't be a need for Niles Boys for home, Niles Home for Boys with the UPK in charge, because brothers wouldn't sell dope. They'll be stringing up from a light pole. Any man that sold drugs will be hung from his neck. Any sister that's a whore will be stoned to death. That's what should happen to you for breaking the commandments of God. And if we were in charge, these streets will be clean. You wouldn't have to beg the mayor and the governor. You wouldn't have to beg Donald Trump to send your state or your city more funding when he hates the people of your city. He's going to send the National Guard. I could do you one better than the National Guard. How about you just give Commander General Yahanna the rulership over your zone? And then that would make everything better. Everyone would just fall in line. There wouldn't be rape. Kids won't be molested. There won't be any missing kids. I can guarantee you that. With us in charge, there won't be poverty. You won't have to live in squalor. Here in Kansas City, it's illegal to be homeless. You have to have a job and have a place to stay in Kansas City. Am I making this up? I am not. This is a law in most cities you can look up. Most urban cities, the black mayors and governors in charge of that state or city make it a law where if you are homeless, you go to jail. It's a crime to be poor. It's a crime to be homeless. Not in the Bible. It's not a crime to be poor. It's not a sin to be poor. We aren't the Christian church. You don't have to have money to be righteous. You don't have to have money to not sell drugs and not be a whore and not kidnap children. You know who does those things? Rich people do those things. The Epstein files, Donald Trump, pedophiles. That's who's in the Donald Trump class. Rich white men. Epstein, rich white men. They're committing all the crimes, not poor black people, not poor Latinos. We're just trying to make $1 out of 2 cents. We're trying to go get a job. That's why we're begging on the side of the road, because we want a job. We want funds. We want somewhere to work. In the UPK, we have jobs. And in here, if we were in charge of this city and any other city in this country, any other city in this world, in this earth, it wouldn't be crime. There wouldn't be child molestation. There wouldn't be police brutality. There wouldn't be drug dealing or drug overdose, a problem with fentanyl. You would nip all that in the butt as soon as you put us in charge. Everyone understand? And the reason being is not only because the Lord is with us, which is the ultimate reason why, because we have a structure in this school. That structure is rank and order. And rank and order literally saves lives. Simply saying Khan out of one Khan, sir. Yes, Lord, yes. That saves your life. You don't have to think for yourself. I'll think for you. I'll tell you where to work. I'll tell you how to live. I'll tell you what you can and cannot eat. Now you're absolved from all responsibility. You don't have to worry about, well, he looks cute, I want to have sex with him. Now he leaves you with 3 babies and you have to put him on child support. Not in this school. I'll tell you who to have sex with. You're going to have sex with him and he won't ever leave you. This brother won't ever leave you. You won't have to worry about child support. That's a plague that plagues the Black community. Child support. Not here. It don't plague us in here. Because we say what? Khan out of one Khan, sir. Sis, you shouldn't be with this brother. Khan out of one Khan, sir. Sis, you should be with this brother. Khan out of one Khan, sir. Brother, maybe you need to give this sister a looking at. That's right up your alley. Khan out of one Khan, sir. There is no issues. There's no problems. Our marriages in here are perfect. Our families in here are perfect. Why? Because we listen to counsel and to the man that is in charge of us. That is the way you eradicate poverty. That's the way you eradicate Black on Black crime. That's how you eradicate drug overdose and drug addiction and drug dealing, is having a man in charge of the people. God knew this thousands of years ago. Why aren't we following it? Because you are following the Christian church and they give you the right and the freedom and the liberty to do what you feel. Not in here. You're going to do what you're told. That's the difference between zero crime and having a city that has more violent crime than Atlanta, Georgia. Kansas City has more murders than Atlanta. Atlanta is 3 times the size of Kansas City. How is that possible? Because you have no one in charge of your sons. You have no one in charge of your daughters. You have no one in charge of you. You need somebody in charge of you. Commander General Yahanna already established that. It's up to you to fall in line. Or you'll be the next Black mother crying on TV when they find your son dead in the alley or dead in the river. You best get in the UPK. You better get in here so that you could be protected from all of the crime and all of the oppression that's waiting for you in the world. You better come in the truth and wise up, or you'll be the next father that's looking for your son or looking for your daughter. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift. For a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. And here the leaders cannot be unjust like your preachers. We can't be unjust like your judge in a courtroom or like your president or like your governors and mayors. You know what they are? Unjust. They're paid off. You can give them money and you can do whatever you want to do. You could be Big Meech as long as you pay the governor of Detroit off. You could be the #1 pedophile in the world like Epstein as long as you pay. Could you imagine what Elon Musk is doing to children? He is a trillionaire. Could you imagine? He has the money to pay off governments, not the government of a state, the government of countries. He bought the United States government and then left when he wanted to. He stole your money and left. And now he's a trillionaire and he will never go to jail. Neither will Donald Trump. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files more than Jesus is in the Bible. He will never go to jail for raping children, for eating babies. Neither will none of the white men that are in the Epstein files with him. You know why? Because they have money. You want to know how to get away with crime in America? Be rich. Then you can buy your way out of everything. In the Bible, that doesn't faze a prophet of God. A priest, a general, an officer, a captain in the truth, he doesn't get bought off. He's not paid off. He does what the Bible says. That's all. He's just. He's not unjust like American justices or a court system or the judges and the governors. They're just in the Bible. We're just in here. Everyone understand? Verse 20. That which is altogether just shall thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Most High thy power, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which the Most High thy power hateth. You know what God hates? That image of white Jesus. God hates the fact that you make deities out of white people. He hates that. You got images of JFK in your home. He hates those images. You got images of, you know, what is an image? It's a deity. You make something a God. God hates that Christian cross. He hates that moon of the Nation of Islam. He hates the Christmas tree image, the image of you worshiping other gods. God hates that. He hates that. Verse 1. This is Deuteronomy 17:1. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Most High thy power any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Most High thy power. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, man or woman that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Most High thy power, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other powers, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. You want to know how to eradicate drug dealing? You want to know how to eradicate Christmas and white Jesus and the Christian cross and the Muslims? You want to know how to eradicate those things? You eradicate those things by the Lord putting sinners to death. That's how it happens. The law, breaking the law of God, is death sentence. It's detrimental, right? It's a death sentence to disobey God's law. It's a death sentence to do what you want to do and not do what God says for you to do. Disobeying the Lord is your life, right? The wages of sin are death. So the old way is for you to get stoned. Now we can't do that. Okay, now we got to just love you and pray for you and God knows what. Hearing the truth that Commander Yahanna has us doing, because he's a better leader than any of us could ever be. So we can't hurt you. But just know, when Christ returns, your chances are over. Now, the time for you to change your life is now, because it is a such thing as too late. You ever hear that phrase, better late than never? Brother, never late is better. Instead of trying to change when it's too late, how about you change now? There's nothing stopping you from changing now. Change your life now, sister. Change your life now, brother. Come into the truth. There's nothing stopping you. Nothing at all. We got classes every day, everywhere, all on this planet Earth. From the UK down to Mexico, there's schools. There's no excuse for you not to be in the truth and change your life. All right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 6. Al, Payah, Shanyam, Adiyam, Awa, Shilasha, Adiyam, Yawamath, Hamath, La'ah, Yawamath, Al, Payah, Aid, Achad, verse 8. I'm sorry, verse 7. Yad, Ha'ayim, Thahaya, Bawa, Barashna, Lahab, Mayathwa, Wayad, Call, Ha'ain, Ba'achara, Waba'irath, Harai, Maharabak, verse 8. Kaya, Yapala'ah, Mamak, Debar, Lama Shapat, Bayan, Dam, Ladam, Bayan, Dayan, Ladayan, Wabayan, Nagai, Lanagai, Dabaria, Rayabath, Basha Aryak, Wakwamath, Wakwalayath, Al, Hamakuam, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahweh, Alahayak, verse 9. Waba'ath, all. Hakahana, Salaki, Hakahanya, excuse me, Hakahanya, Halawayam, Wa'al, excuse me, Salakia, Hashapat, Ashar, Yahya, Bayamyam, Haham, Wadarashath, Wahagayadwa, Wahagayadwa, Lak, Ath, Debar, Hamashapat, verse 10. I.S.U.P.K, Al, Payah, Hadabar, Ashar, Yagada, Salaki, Yagayadwa, Lak, Man, Hamakawam, Hahawa'a, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahweh, Washamarath, I.S.U.P.K, Kakal, Ashar, Yaworak, verse 11. Al, Payah, Hathawar, Ashar, Yaworak, Salaki wa Al, Hamashapat, Ashar, Ya'amarwa, Lak, Tha'aisha, La'a, Thasawar, Man, Hadabar, Ashar, Yaga Yada, Salaki Yagadawa, Salaki, Yaga Yadwa, Lak, Yamayan, Washama'ala, verse 12. Wa'ayash, Ashar, Ya'isha, Bazadawan, Labalathia, Shemai, Al, Hakahan, Ha'imad, Lasharath, Sham, Ath, Yahweh, Alayak, Awa, Al, Hashapat, Wamath, Hayath, Salakia, Ha'asha, Salakia, Ha'ayash, Hahawa'a, Waba'irath, Harai, Mayasha'ala. All right. Let's go back up. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17. We started at verse 6. All right, verse 6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. This is court. All right, a council, as we call it in UPK, but a council is like court. All right, you go in there to see who's guilty. Now, this is about a personal offense, a matter about someone sinning against God. This isn't a counsel about someone offended you. You don't get put to death for offending somebody. All right. So this is just a council or a courtroom about, did this cat sell drugs in our community? Did this cat rape this daughter, this girl, this boy? Is he a sodomite? All right. That is what this is talking about. This is court, as you would put it today. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, what is that? The jurors. You have witnesses that say, man, I saw him sell dope. Sis, you say you saw him? Yeah, I saw him sell dope. Brother, sister, y'all all saw, 12 people saw you sell dope and you say you didn't do it. You're lying. You're getting stoned and put to death. Okay, that's simple, easy. That's your due process in the Bible. You ain't paying no damn taxes so that some slimy, greasy, disgusting murderer or rapist could eat 3 meals a day. You're paying taxes in America so some criminal could eat 3 meals a day instead of being stoned to death, which is what should happen to sinners. Death. Okay, but we live in America, and sin and crime is encouraged here, not in the UPK. All right, not in here. In this school, we obey God and obey the laws of God. So you're not allowed to sin and do what you feel like doing. You do what you're told, and that stops sin. Everyone understand? Verse 7. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death. Damn. And afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put the evil away from among you. This is how you put the evil away from among you. You want to know how to get rid of pedophiles? You want to know how to get rid of drug dealers? They should be hanging from a tree. That's how you get rid of them. All right. And then when children see, this is the reason why in America, in the Old West and the South, there will be public execution. And when you look at old pictures of public executions, I'm not talking about the lynchings of Black people. I mean an actual court that decided this white murderer is hung until he dies. Those were public. When the electric chair first came out, those were public. You can go see an execution up until like 1996, right? Why? Because it encouraged the youth and the posterity to not do what this bastard did. You see some woman that's hung from a tree, your child, when they hang her, is going to say, Mommy, why are they hanging her? Why are they killing her? And you're going to say, because she sinned against God, because she cheated on her husband. She committed adultery on her husband. She's an adulteress. She's a whore. She went around the town saying city girls. She was a city girl. That's why she's hanging from a tree. She was a drunken woman who molested boys. She had no self-control. What is that teaching your daughter? I will never be a whore. She dressed like a whore. She carried herself like a whore. She was a whore. Bible says, put away whoredom from this nation. You aren't allowed to be whores, sisters. It ain't your body, your choice. Your body was paid for by the Most High God. Everyone understand? That's not your body. So you dress how you're told to dress, not how you want to dress, because that's not your body. Okay? Someone owns that body. And as a woman, your entire life is being the property of a man. Your father is your owner from the time you're born until he gives you away to a new owner. You're property. You do what you're told. So when you're swinging from a tree, what does that do for the posterity of our generation, of our people? The next generation of daughters see that whore hanging, they will never be a whore. The brothers, the young boys, some 12-year-old son sees drug dealers hanging from a light pole, they will never sell drugs. They see men walking around with their hands cut off and it's just nubs. Your son is going to say, Daddy, what happened to him? He stole from somebody. Why is his eye taken out like Charleston White? Because he took someone else's eye out. Okay, that's retribution. That's literally called justice. That's called justice. You pay for what you do. If you don't pay for what you do, what will happen? Evil will breed and live among us. You want to know why drug dealing is such a big problem? Maybe not so much now because of dispensaries, but whoredom is a huge problem in our community. Black and Latino women just want to be whores. You know why? Because it's encouraged. Because no one ever puts a whore to death. If whores start to get hung up from trees, guess what happens? There won't be whores. Because your daughter will be so scared, pissed straight, that she will never want to be a whore. She'll say, I'm covering my head. She'll wear one of them ninja suits the Muslim women wear. She will never want to be caught seen with skin showing. She will never want to be a slut and leave her husband. You sisters leave your husband, you were supposed to be put to death for that in a righteous kingdom. That's what was supposed to happen. But because you live with another man's children, now you're looking for a stepdaddy. What in the hell is that? They have a father that you were supposed to stay with. You put away evil when you kill this whore or kill this drug dealer or this liar or this thief. Now there won't be thieves and liars and whores and drug dealers in our community. Now there won't be rapists, because a rapist is supposed to be what? Put to death. You see some cat with no genitals and hanging, you say, well, what did he do, Daddy? He raped a girl. He raped sister so-and-so's daughter. He touched her inappropriately. Oh my God. You know what that's going to do? It's out the question. It's out of your mind. The problem with America in this kingdom, in this world, crime and sin is encouraged. And because no one ever gets put to death for their crimes, for their sin against God, you are allowed to look at that and say, well, I get another opportunity to do it. The church encourages you to. Your religious belief encourages you to sin. That's not what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to do what? So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. The only way you put evil away from among you is doing what? That person has to pay for what they've done. This is verse 18. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. If you can't handle it within your own communities, within your own tribes, you got to go see them Levites, the Haitians, Officer Yatazar up there in headquarters. All right. Salaki, hold on. That was okay. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 13. I'm sorry. Did I ever finish that? Okay, I'm skipping around. Here we go. I ain't even done. This is the best part. Okay, that's 17 and 9. So we got until 12. Okay, Salakia. So we got until 12. Salakia. According to the sentence. Okay, here we go. Verse 10. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Most High shall choose shall show thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee. Brother, you got to go see them Levites, the Haitians. Those are some rough cats there. If we can't handle it, remember, this is the days of old that I'm teaching you about right now. This is the way things went, and this is the way things are supposed to go now. If in your tribe, you can't handle what happens in your community, then you got to go take it to the Levites. That's the big courtroom. That's a court where you got the Levites and you got a judge there, and they're going to judge you. And brother, their track record in Levi, you be better off getting it handled in your community. Everyone understand? Levi literally means law. Okay, they're the lawgivers. All right, they know the law, the front and the back. This is verse 11. According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee to the right hand nor to the left. If they tell you got 7, if you stole from this man, and the sentence is you got to do 7 years of hard labor on this brother's farm, you got to do 7 years of hard labor on this brother's farm. There is no swaying away from that. There is no way you got, what do they do? Clemency in America. They give you clemency. That's not in the Bible. You're going to do what your judgment is. If you're judged to be put to death, there is no lawyer that can now get you off of this crime because you've already been found guilty. There is no mercy after that. Do you understand? That's important to understand why. Because what Christ did for us, we owe him our lives. We owe him good behavior. What we are in America and in anywhere in the world, when I say we, I mean Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, we are in prison. And just follow this example. Someone bought your clemency, Jesus Christ. He paid for you to get out of jail with his life. So instead of us dying, Christ decided to pay our judgment. So what are we supposed to do now? Are we supposed to be whores? Are we supposed to now go and sin? Is that why Jesus died, so we can go sin? No. We're supposed to live our lives in honor of him. We're supposed to say, a man died so I can be released from prison. The best person to talk to are brothers who've been granted clemency. A brother whose sentence has been, what do they call it? Not expunged. What is it called? Oh, I can't think of the legal jargon, but it's a word where in the court, brother, you can be sentenced to 25 years. Say you've done 10 years. You can get out with good behavior. You could have or let's say you went to jail unjustly, like Khalif Browder. You've done 3 years in prison and they sentenced you to 20 years. They can find you to be not guilty based on your crimes that you never committed. In our case, we've committed the crimes that we should be found guilty for. Christ paid for them. We're walking the straight line in prison. We're in prison. They tell you one day, hey, Malak, get out. You're out of jail. You're like, I got 15 more years in Leavenworth. I got 15 more years in Angola. What you mean I'm free? Hey, this brother died so that you could be set free from prison. When you get free and go home, what are you now going to do? Go F holes and smoke weed and get high? Be a porn addict and a drug addict and an alcoholic? Is that what you're going to do because a man that should never have died bought your freedom? Nah, what you're going to do is you're going to live your life perfectly so that you can prove to that brother that bought your freedom why you earned it. See, right now, we haven't earned that love that Christ showed us. We haven't earned the love that God showed us. You earned that with good behavior. That's a legal term. You can get out early with good behavior. Well, if you don't have good behavior, you're showing to the world and you're showing that brother that died why he should never have died for you. That's why it's important to keep the laws of God. That's why it's important to have brotherhood and sisterhood. That's why it's important, because a man died who was perfect so that you didn't have to die. So now you have to live your life in honor of that brother who died that was perfect. He didn't eat pork and shrimp. He didn't celebrate his birthday and Christmas. So neither should you. He didn't hate blacks and Latinos. So neither should you. He wasn't a coon like Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, and Candace Owens. So you shouldn't be one either. You see how that works? He died a perfect man. So now you have to make yourself perfect, so to show him why you deserve to be free from that jail sentence, why you deserve to be free from that death sentence that was awaiting you. You prove that every day with your actions. Everyone understand? Verse 13. And all the people, no, I'm stopping at 12. That's it. All right. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Most High thy power, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. Brother, the Lord is a God that is a terrible power. He is not to be played with. I'm going to tell you that right now. The Most High God is a man of war. Everyone understand? He doesn't want evil in our communities. You see the drug dealing that goes on in your neighborhood. You see the prostitution that goes on that plagues your community, the whoredom. You see all these things that happen in your communities. Your father is dead because a gang member shot him in the 80s. Your mother was a whore because some man sold her drugs back in the 70s. Excuse me. That would have never happened had we obeyed the Lord and we put away evil. You know what we've done? We've bought into sin. We've bought into it. We believe the white man when he tells you you have the freedom and liberty to live your life how you want. So now what have all of our women become because of that? Whores. What have all of our sons become? Incarcerated. Brother, there are more brothers in jail and in prison than there were in slavery, which means what? You were better off. Your sons, this is what's so heavy. Everybody was mad at Brandon Tatum for saying what he said, and rightfully so, because we were not better off in slavery. But do you know one of the statistics that white people will use to prove that you're better off in slavery? Your sons are incarcerated more than they were in slavery. They're in prison, which means, what does that tell white people? We should have never freed you in the first place. You should have never been free. I should have just kept your monkey, you know what, in slavery, picking cotton. I should have kept you niggers in the fields. What was the point of the Civil War if all you were going to do was be a sinner and go to prison? That's why we're in prison. You know why we're in prison, don't you? Everyone knows why we're in prison. Yes, the white man is the devil, but yes, you also disobey God. The white man is the devil, and oppression doesn't help our condition, but your sin doesn't help your condition either. Do you understand that? Do blacks and Latinos get that? Sure, we're going to blame the white man, and rightfully so, because he is to blame for our condition. But brother, you're not helping the Lord get you out of this predicament if you continue to get high. You understand? The white man is the devil. Sure, yes. Officer Tatum was wrong for what he said. White people aren't wrong for believing that you should have never been let go if all you're going to do is go to prison anyway. Your sons fill up the jail cells so much, not for any other reason outside of you are a sinner. That's it. Had we not committed sin and crimes against God, your sons wouldn't fill up the jail cells. Do you understand? We would be a protected class. What do I mean when I say that? Meaning God would fight for us. You see all the brothers who had to get clemency because they were in jail unjustly? Like that brother they made the movie about with Jamie Foxx and Just Mercy, about the brother in Mississippi who was wrongfully convicted and put on death row for murdering a white woman. Do you know why that happened? Do you know why Emmett Till was even took from his home? Do you know why these crimes and atrocities happen? Because we have nobody to fight for us. We don't have a military. We don't have a Marine Corps. God is that Marine Corps. God is that military for us. And if we disobey him, he will never defend us. That's why we fill up the jail cells. That's why we fill up the graveyards, because he is not going to defend us as long as we disobey him. Just like any good father. We have to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of God if we want our children to not suffer what our forefathers and our community and our contemporaries suffered. We have to start obeying the Lord. It's a new day, It's a new day. It ain't 1960s. The damn sure ain't 1955, even though it feels like it is. It's a new day, brother. You can teach your children, follow the Most High God. Follow his commandments. Listen to the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K. Join the UPK. Go up under Commander Yahanna. These things you're supposed to teach your children. This prevents them from doing what? Growing up to be like a sinner like you. You grew up and you were a sinner. Your child doesn't have to be. It's your golden opportunity now to teach your children the lessons of the Bible that you were never taught. This is what's going to prevent the next generation of going in prison, the next generation of being found dead hanging from a tree in Mississippi. You want to prevent that? Guess what you have to do? Teach your children the Bible here in the Israelite School of UPK. Everyone understand, right? Let's move on to Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 13. Recall, Ha'an, Yashemayawa, Wayara Awa, Wala Yaza Salaki, Yaza Yadwan, Iwad. Verse 14. Kaya, Thaba, Al, Harataza, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Nathan, Lak, Wayarashath, Wayashabath, Ba, Wa Marath, Ashiyama, Alya, Malak, Kakal, Hagoyam, Ashar, Sabayabathya, Sabayabathya. Verse 15. Shawam, Thashiyam, Alyak, Malak, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Bawa, Makarab, Achayak, Thashiyam, Alyak, Malak, La'ah, Thawakal, Lathath, Alyak, Ayash, Nakarya, Ashar, La'ah, Achayak, Hawa'ah. Verse 16. Rak, La'ah, Yarabah, Lawa, Sawasyam, Wala'ah, Yashiyab, Ath, Ha'ain, Matazariyama, Lama'ain, Harabawath, Sawas, Wayahawa, Amar, Lakam, La'ah. That's the Sapwan, Lashawab, Badarak, Hazahah, Iwad. Verse 17. Wala'ah, Yarabah, Lawa, Nashiyam, Wala'ah, Yasawar, Lababawa, Wakasap, Wazahah, La'ah, Yarabah, Lawa, Ma'ad. Verse 18. Excuse me. Wahaya, Kashabathwa, Al, Kasa'ah, Mamalakathwa, Wakatha, Lawa, Ath, Mashana, Hathawar, Hazaath, Al, Sapar, Malapunya, Hakahanyam, Halawayam. Verse 19. Wahayath, Imawa, Wakara'ah, Bawa, Call, Yum Yum, Salak, Yum Ya, Kayayawa, Lama'ain, Yalamad, Layara'ah, Yahweh, Alahayawa, Lashamar, Call, Dabaria, Hathawar, Hazaath, Wa'ath, Hakakim, Hakakim, Hala, La'ishatham. Right? All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. Salaki, I had a few comments here I wanted to go back to. See, sister said about, take the homeless right to jail. Damn right, sis. Okay, that's in German. German. All right. Damn right. Most High in Christ. All right. Most High in Christ. Damn right. It's not. It says, the sister says, does not the body of the husband belong to the wife? That's not speaking about he's your property. To the sister Kimberly Jordan Fly. When the Bible says that your body is his and his body is yours, meaning in marriage, a husband's body belongs to his wife and the wife's body belongs to the husband, that's talking about sex. Your husband cannot deny you sex and a wife cannot deny her husband sex. That's what that's speaking about. That doesn't mean you boss your husband around and tell him what to do. That's specifically talking about when you say husband drop them draws, he got to be a breeding bull at all begging calls of the hour. He's just got to put that thing inside of you and get on top of you when you want it. Okay, that's what that's speaking about, to be specific. But what I spoke of earlier, Sister Kimberly Jordan Fly, I was speaking about you literally being the property of your husband, like a dog or a horse. He owns you like he would own a mare, or like he would own a pig or a dog or a cat. Everyone understand? Or a pair of shoes. You're his property. He's not your property. Everyone understand? Exonerated, the water to the young man here in Kansas City. Exonerated is the word I was looking for earlier. Most High in Christ. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. When thou art come into the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Most High thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. You are not allowed to vote for heathens. You understand? Barack Obama, that was a sin for black people to vote for Barack Obama because he is not from your nation. He's not a brother. He's an African, another race of people. It's just like if you was to vote for Donald Trump, a white man. It's the same thing as voting for Barack Obama. He's a heathen. They're both heathens. They're not Israelites. They're not blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. It is a sin to set a man over you. Remember, it's going to be a man. For all you sisters who think you're in charge, women can be president. The Lord didn't design a woman to rule over anything. You are designed to be ruled over. So a woman will never be in charge of anything in this school, and you're never going to be in charge in the white man's kingdom either, because white men understand a woman is not supposed to be in charge. So she will never be president. But it is a sin to also vote for a woman as well, because it has to be a man, a brother, and he has to be from your nation. So voting for some heathen is unlawful. You cannot vote for a white man. You can't vote for Kamala Harris. She's a woman, and she's the double whammy. She's a woman and she's a heathen. Okay, all of that voting, brother, leave it alone. God already put in charge who he's going to put in charge of you. And those people and those brothers and the Israelite school of UPK under commanding General Yahanna. There's no reason for you to try to elect an official, which is what Sister Melissa Johnson's issue is. She's going to face so many problems in her city prosecutor seat because she's trying to really change Kansas City. She's trying to change the murder and the violence here. It won't work, sis. And I need Melissa Johnson to understand all of your efforts will mean nothing because the root of our problem is we have a spiritual problem, and it's sinning against God. And only a man can fix that, not a woman. A man is supposed to be in charge of the people, not a woman. All right. The sister asked, will the husband treat his wife like a dog in the UPK? If she acts like one, absolutely. Okay. If you act like a bitch, you'll be treated like one, sis. That's simple. If your child, you have children, if your child is ungrateful, are you going to treat them like a king or a prince or a princess? If they're a spoiled brat that gets F's in school, you got some child that gets all F's in school. Their only job is to go to school and get good grades. That's too much for them to get good grades. What are you going to get them Jordans and everything they ask for? You will not. You're going to treat them just the way they're acting, like a spoiled brat. What happens to spoiled brats? They get their ass beat. In my house, I don't know about your house. I'm not raising spoiled brats in here. Maybe you are, but I'm not. So you're going to treat somebody the way they act. So if you act like a dog, says, hell yeah, he's going to treat you like one. But if you act like a princess, if you shut your mouth and not embarrass him on Facebook and YouTube, if you don't embarrass him in public, if you watch your mouth and you are a helpmeet to him, the brother may treat you like a princess. Okay, you get what you earned in this school. Sister said, okay, well, sis, well, this is what you do is call the brother that's over your zone. All right. If you're married to a camp leader who is over your zone, call the captain that's over him. Call the general that's over him. Everyone understand? So if you're afraid, if you're in a relationship where you're afraid, call for counsel. That's all I can tell you to do. You understand? Just call for counsel. Okay. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 16. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Most High have said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself. That his, you see why women can't be in charge? This whole entire class, I may have mentioned relationships one time. I think I mentioned a woman being a husband's property one time. And this sister is still in the comments section talking about relationships. You black women and Hispanic women know there's more to life than marriage and relationships. Have you tried being a pediatric neurosurgeon? Have you tried that? Have you tried being a orthopedic surgeon? Have you tried being a pharmacist? Not a pharmacist tech, but a pharmacist. Have you tried learning 6 languages? If you worry less about relationships in your marriage than you do becoming a stalwart for the truth and for the Lord, then you will fail every single time because your life is focused on relationships. We're never going to get out of this hell if all you black and Latino women do is worry about relationships. You know what I've talked about 99% of this class, this Sabbath service? Obeying the laws of God. Now, do you smoke? That's what the sister should be asked. Are you a sinner? Do you pay your tithes? Are you a sinner? Do you smoke? Are you a whore? Do you drink? I'm not, do you drink? Are you an alcoholic? It's not a sin to drink. Are you an alcoholic? This whole class has been about the law of God, obeying the laws and what should happen to sinners. And all she's got out of this is a relationship. That's why your sons are in prison. That's why your daughters are whores, because your focus is penis. You should be focused on, am I giving everything to the Israelite school of UPK? What kind of a wife am I? Instead of worrying about the type of husband your husband is, am I a stupid bitch? Because if I am not a stupid bitch, then I won't be treated like one. Am I embarrassing my husband at a Sabbath service class? Am I doing that? Am I attempting to learn Spanish and French? Do I know Italian? Can you even speak the English language? Do you know the Hebrew? Your focus is rod and penis and relationships, which is why Dr. Brian is everybody's all up in arms over Cheyenne Bryant not even being a real doctor. Who would even give a F about if Cheyenne Bryant was a real doctor or not? She's giving relationship advice. Why in the hell would you listen to a woman giving that? You see, your whole life is relationships, not being a better woman. Are you perfect? That's what you should ask yourself every morning. If you aren't perfect, then you should work on that, not worrying about your husband and what your husband doesn't do. What don't you do? That's all your focus should be. Everyone understand? All right, let's get back to the scripture. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 19. I'm sorry, verse 18. And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. Verse 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Most High his power, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them. You hear that, sis? This ain't talking about husbands and wives and marriages and relationships. This is about obeying the law of God. Are you keeping the laws of God? Do you pay your tithes? Okay, do you pay your tithes? Are you a drug addict? Do you smoke weed? I don't want to hear anything about what your husband's not doing if you're a sinner. Maybe that's why he's treating you so badly, because you're a sinner who doesn't pay your tithes, who still smokes, who is an alcoholic, and who does drugs. Stop being a sinner. That's what your focus should be on. Because if you are a sinner, your punishment is going to be death, not mercy. Everyone understand? This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 20. Clap it up. Deuteronomy 17 and 20. Labalafia, Rawam, Lababawa, Lababwa, Ma'akua, Wala Balafia, Sawar, Man, Hamatazawa, Yamayan, Washima Awal, Salaki Washima Awal, Lama Ain, Ya'ariyak, Yum Yum, Ow, Mama Lakathwa, Hawa'a, Wabanyua, Bakara, Yasha'ala, right? La'a, Yahaya, Lakahanyam, Halawayam, Call, Shabbat, Laya, Khalak, Shabbat, Loya, Khalak, Wana Khalak, Ain, Yasha'ala, Ashya, Yahweh, Wana Salakia, Wana Khalathwa, call one. This is Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 2. Wana Khala, La'a, Yahaya, Lawa, Bakara, Achyawa, Yahweh, Hawa'a, Nakalathwa, Ka'ashar, Debar, Lawa, verse 3. Wazah, Yahaya, Mashapat, Hakahanya, Ma'ath, Ha'ain, Ma'ath, Zabakia, Hazabak, Shawar, Shah, Wanathan, Lakahan, Hazarai, Wahalak Yayam, Wahakwabah, verse 4. Ra'ashath, Daganat, Thayarashak, Wayatazaharak, Warayashath, Gaz, Tazanak, Thathan, Loya, Kaya, Bawa. This is verse 5. Excuse me, verse 5. Kaya, excuse me. Kaya, Bawa, Bachar, Yahweh, Alayak, Makal, Shabbatyak, La'imad, Lasharath, Basham, Yahweh, Hawa'a, Wabanyua, Call, Hayamyam, verse 6. Wakaya, Yaba'a, Allah Salakia, Haloya, Ma'achad, Sha'aryak, Makal, Yasha'ala, Ashar, Hawa'a, Gar, Shum, Waba'a, Bakal, Awath, Napashwa, All, Hamakawam, Ashar, Yabachar, Yahweh. Right? All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter, where we at 17 and verse 20. That his heart be not lifted up above his brother, and that he turn not aside from the commandment, to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Most High made by fire in his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Most High is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the maw. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. Verse 5. This is Deuteronomy 18:5. For the Most High thy power hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Most High, him and his sons forever. Verse 6. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel, where he sojourn, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Most High shall choose. Right? Sit on that. With that, imagine, which means to stand. This is me up here. All right. La Yashala to Israel. Imagine, which means everyone stand. Right. Wapanya Akwadam, which means to rise and face the east. Turn and face the east. Right. The Lord's Prayer. I.S.U.P.K, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahawah, I.S.U.P.K, SABBATH, Ratazak, I.S.U.P.K, Baratazak, Kawah, Allah, Salak, I.S.U.P.K, Bashemayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalachanawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalachnawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'at, Kabaya'anawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Awashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa the power, La'ilamium, Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakak, the power. Yahawah, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashah, Nathanawa, Hakak, La Pa'at, Call Makala, Call Manawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Lahakwi, Hamathi, Hakak, Arakawa, Fatama'al, Lagar Shut, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the Wada Amun. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Salaki, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Waha, Bayatsapari, Barak, Rapat, Magun, Hagun, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the Wada Amun. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Acha Ayanya, Ahahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Exari, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Ya, Yandinka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'a, Yakarka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra, Yashamar, Atham Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'af. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Excuse me. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahai, Adam Yalaka, Al Takarash, Al Dashaqua, Al Kayahana, Awayabika, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanai, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Alamaka, Yaira Young, Sawad, Wayafay Aitazawa, Al Tazapawandika, Amawa, the Kawa, on the Kaki, the Mogoya, Wala Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwa, Kaya, Nava Tazawa, La, Yakhadu, Auyaka, Bayat, Yakarath, Aholia, Adawam, Wayashima Auli, Mawa Abba, Wahagari, Gabal, Waimuan, Waimula, Palashat, Shabi, Tazawar, Gam Ashur, Nalawa, Imam, Haiwa, Zarawa, Banyalawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadin, Kasayasara, Kayabin, Banakal, Koyashwan, Nashimadu, Ba'ayan, Ara, Iowa, Daman, La Adama, Shea Thumu, Nadiabu, Kaira, Ukazaba, Ukazalmanai, Slaki, Call and say, Come on, Shar, Amawat, Nairashat, Nawa, Nawaf, Alahayam, Shea Thumu, Kagawa, Lakwash, Lapanyaraka, Kaash, Taba Ira, Kalab, Dalahat, Aryam, Khan, Dara Datma, Basa Ira, Slaki, Kwalawan, way of Aquashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, way of Bahalwa, Ayah, Parwa, way of Bad, way of the Iowa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al, Yawan, Al, Call, Ratiza, Aman. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zeb. Yea, all their princes as the Ba, and as the Muna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burning the wood, and as the flame set at the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. The prayer, the blessings of the power structure. Barakatha Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shah, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahaya, Matazabi, Alawapi Hana, Ha Alawapi, Ha Saranya, Ha Kwazazayanium, Ha Kayayoyim, wa Ha Wafian, Yahweh, ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, the water Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Right? Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I-S-U.P.K, Shabbat, I-M-A-J-M, Barak, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, Yajim, which means hands down. Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I-S-U.P.K, Shabbat, I-M-A-J-M, Barak, Yahweh, Shemar, Alathun, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Yajim, dismissed.